Hey there. What I'll be making today is a vertex pencil kit from Penn State Industries. And I will be making this kit out of a piece of walnut. It has a little bit of curly in it. I think it'll turn out nicely. This project is actually something for a coworker of mine. He specifically asked for walnut, asked me to pick him out a pretty piece. So I've already got the pen blank drilled out and the tube glued in. I just used CA glue. My next step will be trimming the ends. So let's get that going. Let me grab my little setup here. I just usually use my hand drill for this. I find it just as easy. Doesn't take long. It's fairly easy. Just watch your hands, pretty much. And there we go. There it is. Looks cool. Beautiful. Alright, and next step will be getting it on the mandrel and getting the correct bushings made for this. I have it over here. Grab this. I can find it. I've got a little... I like to keep them in the package. That way I know what's what and what it goes with. So let's just get this out. So the first on, I have a couple of spacer ones here. So let's see how this mounts up. Looks like it's going good. And when putting this nut on the mandrel, I don't want to tighten it up until I have my tailstock in place. And then I just put a little bit of pressure on that. And we are ready to go. Let's start tying. Well, no. I need this in place first. Always be sure to make sure that you have your clearance. And let's go. Soften up my belt just a minute. That should be my buddy. Alright, I'm going to move my wrist in. And the shape on this can be just whatever you desire. Each individual turn has their own preferences per kit that they use, but you know, I just kind of work off what I think looks best, and I recommend you do the same. Same as a lot of things in life, to each their own. Okay, I'm going to move over to my skew chisel. It's fairly sharp. I may not use this correctly, but I use it how I use it best. So I just pretty much use it as a scraper. I'm going to get my hands a little closer to the bushings here. I like to get a lot of people like to leave them a little bit proud for sanding, but I use a CA finish, and I find it best to go ahead and get this fairly close to the bushings before your sanding process, and usually the CA finish will build it up a little closer and get it, in my opinion, perfect for the size of the pin kit itself. So once again, that's to each their own. Everybody prefers to do things their way. As of right now, I've got this little crack just in the center for my personal liking. I'll measure my gouge out. Just try to take a little bit more out of the center. This walnut is actually fairly hard, so it takes a little doing. With a softer wood, I can usually get that out with the skew. But on this side, I prefer to hit it with the gouge again. So there we go. We're going to get back to the skew chisel. Get her cleaned up a little better. Turn this off, take a look, see what we've got. A little rough spot there. Let me see if I can get that out a little better with the skew here. It was almost like a knot section right there, which usually in the curly usually tends to damage or around a knot or something of the sort. So I'm going to have to do some pretty good sanding on this. So let's get this off and this out of the way and start to do some sanding. Get my mask on, so I may be a little quiet or just wait to speak, because I will have my mask on. So let's get this sanded. I usually start with it's kind of worn. I think it was originally 120 piece of just hand paper here. So well, let's get that going. I've been hitting it a lot with this very coarse sandpaper. Just hit it a little. Then I'll move on to some of my sanding blocks, sponges, if you will, whatever you prefer to call them. Yeah, I might have to. Now I'm just testing the waters to see. Let me see if I can. You always have to go with the grain per grit. See if I can't get that rough spot worked out. Alright, now let's go back to the sponge. Hit it with the grain. Let's keep working down in our grits here. And I have another sponge somewhere. Over there. There we go. This is a different grit sponge. I know it looks pretty much the same, but alright. That should get it. Now I'm going to head to this little, I don't really know what you call these, it's just a little pad, abrasive pad. That going with the grain. Alright, I'm going to flip this on and hit it with a paper towel. Try to get some of the dust off of it, get some mandrel cleaned up, and just kind of squeeze it just a little. There we go. Looking good. Okay, now what I do is I use a CA finish, super glue, whatever you prefer it to call it. It's all the same stuff pretty much. But always use a paper towel. Because a rag, it can get caught in your lace and it can do some damage to you. So let's get you a paper towel and you just fold it up in a small little section, like so. And I prefer to start off with a thin TA. And you can get this at your local Hobby Lobby, this brand here, and it works really good. I really like it. So what I do, almost forgot, you want to get your paper towel and clean off your bed pretty good, and cover your bed with this, because I'll be wet sanding, and the CA, it'll drip and go all over the place, so just kind of helps protect your equipment. So, alright, so I flip my light on, and I put it on slow as she'll go, and I just drip over the top, wet it out, and get it all the way across. Don't stay on it very long, get real set up. Just give it a second to tack off. It doesn't take real long at all. Okay, that's the first coat, so let's put a second coat on. Again, this is thin CA that I prefer to start off with. Just let that tack off. And as usual, it doesn't take very long. And I'll put 3, maybe 4, depending on, really depends on how textured the wood is, how much texture is on it. The CA helps fill in any grains or knot holes or any sort of inconsistencies in the wood, and it just gives you a better finish. So let's take a look and see where we're at. Looking good. Okay, the next step that I like to use is the medium CA glue. It's the same brand, just a medium thickness. Use your sandpaper towel if you want it. It gets a little hard, so I tend to take some scissors and just cut off the hard section. That way I can reuse it without accidentally putting the rough section on there. So, but once again, keep your lace as low as she'll go, and just apply your medium. And once the clog does get the tip of the clog. There you go. Apply the medium the same way. It is a little thicker than all these lines, so you'll want to go across it to even those out. The medium CA, it takes a little bit longer to set up. Depending on how thick I'm putting it on, I don't always like to use an accelerator, but this, especially with something that has very deep holes or grain or whatever, that if you use the accelerator, it tends to turn that white. But I like the 2P10. It works very good for me. So it's still just a little bit tight, so I'm just going to spritz it just a bit. This not very deep grain on this. So. And with that accelerator, it's almost instantly here. Alright, let's put one more coat on here. Just a moment. Just smooth down. Wait on that to set up, and we're going to take a towel. Let's fold it out. Yep, she's set up. Let's put another coat. I believe this makes 3. I'll probably do 4 or so. 9 times out of 10, he may use this as a shop pencil. We build cabinets for a living, so you know, we're always woodworking and going on. So in the rough shop, so I'm going to spritz that. A little CA on my hand. See, this side, yeah, she's good. Put on one more coat. We're going to do the 4th here. Give that one last little spritz. Cap on. Let that set up a moment while I get my micro mesh pads out. Get that ready. I'll just keep me a little container, a little cheap Walmart Rubberette, I believe it is, container with some water in it. And I get my micro mesh pads in it. I get these micro mesh pads from Penn State Industries. I really like them. They work well. They're color coded. That way you know which is which and keep up with your grits. Be sure to keep the piece of paper. That way you'll know. After a while, you know. Anyways, I don't know the specific numbers of all of them. I know it goes up to 12,000. I don't know all the specific numbers, but I know what color is what. I've used them so much. So. Alright. Get cleaned up. Alright, so I'll just start off and leave your length fairly slow with the more coarse ones. Like I said, I like to wet it. Water sand. Always clean off your dust from the previous. I like to check for when you're putting the CA on, it'll as it's turning, it's swirling. So it leaves little shiny spots once you get to sanding. And I like to check to make sure all of that is out before I get to the finer grit. But right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to back up just a step. I like to, before I get started on the sanding process, I like to take my skin and put my wrist back on, my tool wrist, and crank up the lathe, and right there at the seam of the blade and the bushing, run that in, straight in, and it helps break that PA loose from the bushing. I've never used the non-stick bushings. I'm sure they work great, and I would like to give that a shot, but as of right now, I haven't, so let's get this taken off. Pull it back out the way. My paper towel set back up here. And it leaves a little rough edge right there, and the micro mesh pads will take that out, so don't sweat that. It'll just sand that right off. Go to the next grit, and these sounds are about